Hey everybody, I'm here with a quick video on the Diddy trial. Listen, the prosecution rest their case today, but then the defense right after rested their case. You know, I I go back and forth. And when I go back and forth, I go back and forth on, whether in my next life I would come back as a lawyer. Well, guess what? My next life, I'm back to this again. I will come back as a lawyer. Diddy had about 10 lawyers. I don't even think some of them had to physically speak in court. They literally are putting up no defense, and they probably all cleared about 10, 15 million apiece. I'm sure they did. I know they got paid cash because they was working day and night. You working day and night, and you can't get one character witness to come up there and say something. You initially submitted a list of 200 witnesses, and you got nothing. And I know everybody's saying they have nothing because they feel like the prosecution did not prove their case without reasonable doubt. But still, I wouldn't want the last impression in the jury's mind is to be all of these videos of freak offs in the Intercontinental Hotel spinning in their head on rewind. I would want somebody to come up and say, Diddy was my bro. I love him. And all these things he's being accused of, I don't know nothing about it. And every time I saw him with Jane, they was hugged up and kissed up. Every time I saw him with Cassie, they was lovey-dovey. And with this Brianna, when I saw them, I ain't see nothing they was talking about. You couldn't get one or two or maybe three people to come up and give you some of those stories like that. They just easy stories, your opinion, because to be honest with you, all the witnesses, that's their story. And it's up to the jury to believe it or not. So you couldn't get three people to come through to say that this man was a good man, a good family man, a good brother, cousin, nephew, something. Now, I got on this prosecution a lot, but now today is the defense turn. I don't like this situation here. And even if they felt like the prosecution did a piss poor job, which I done told you that from the beginning, I still think you should have let the last memory in this jury's mind be about 1 to 2 folk. I mean, if you couldn't find 5, fine. 1 to 2 people to come up there and say, we like Diddy. Bring Stevie J. He was hanging with him too darn near the bitter end. I don't know. Get his Rolodex and go through it. Diddy, can I call Tina? No, don't call Tina. Can I call Regina? Don't call Regina. Can I call Tasha? Yeah, you could call Tasha. Call Tasha, right? Okay, we call Tasha. Tasha said she ain't available. All right, can I call Cookie? Yeah, call Cookie. All right, Cookie said she gonna come through. Nobody? Let me share a screen so we can go ahead and get into this story. This is crazy. I mean, they rest their case. Diddy, the trial judge, thanks. You're doing a great job. Defense rest case. I am in shock. So, rare moment in the Diddy criminal trial. The music mogul just spoke up in court telling the judge how he's feeling, thanking him for doing a good job and confirming his decision not to take the stand before his defense rested their case. Doing a good job? Do they know something we don't know? The brief exchange Tuesday started with Judge Ron Subramanian asking Diddy how he was feeling. This man done been through people testify against him, the sex workers up there, the ex-girlfriends up there, and at the very end, you ask him how he doing. He probably, yeah, he is doing good because it's over. Diddy said, I'm doing great, Your Honor. I've been wanting to tell you thank you. You're doing an excellent job. Did he even know what's going on here, how much trouble he is in? The judge thanked Diddy for the comment and asked if he understood the decision not to take the stand was his and his alone. Diddy responded that he thoroughly discussed with his lawyers whether or not to testify and ultimately decided against testifying. And that was Mark back in September 2024, talking about he don't think he could keep Diddy off the stand. And here we are in real time, June 2024. Ain't that crazy? June 24, 2025. Saying and Diddy's not taking a stand. Diddy taking the stand was always a long shot because it would have been a huge risk for his defense to allow him to be cross-examined by the prosecutors. Even though his attorney, Mark, told us before the trial he didn't think he could keep Diddy off the stand. That is Mark leaving the court.
Introducing Wegovy.
Closing arguments will be up next. Listen, I don't know who is writing these closing arguments and who will be delivering them, but they better do a slam dunk because the fact that you put nobody on the stand is like, whoa. We haven't heard much from Diddy at all during the 8-week-long trial. I didn't realize it was 8 weeks already. By far, the most he said in court. So, yeah, and this by far was the most he said in court. Absolutely, it was. I'm just waiting for this to spin through. So okay, let's take a look. Mark putting in his AirPod. Mark, Mark, I hope you know what you're doing here, Mark. Nobody? You couldn't get a cousin, a auntie, a uncle, his sister, his brother-in-law? Nobody? I would have asked Mark some questions. Oh my gosh. So Diddy's defense has now rested his case, and jurors are being sent home until Thursday when they will hear closing arguments. I wonder why not just do them tomorrow in case they needed to deliberate Thursday, Friday. This
week. Thursday, it looks like they're going to do closing, and this jury could get this on Friday. No idea how long it's going to take, but
we do know that Diddy is not going to be testifying.
Diddy's not going to be testifying, but there apparently, at least as of now, there is somebody on the stand from Homeland Security, and they're the ones that initiated all of this. We're going to get into that in a minute. But as of now, and as we are doing the show right now, the person is still on direct. So assuming nothing significant changes, we are told they are not going to call a single witness, that they could simply stand up and rest their case. We are told the following, that the defense believes, A, the prosecution did not prove racketeering, B, they believe that the prosecution has not proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Cassie and or Jane did not consent to having these freak-offs, and consent would be a requirement. As for the Mann Act, which is simply transporting a sex worker for commercial purposes of prostitution, their argument is, well, listen to what the sex workers said. They said they were not paid for sex. They were paid for time and discretion.
So time to have sex?
No, time to be with them.
In which case, and during that time, they had sex.
I'm not saying that the jury's going to buy it, but that's what the sex worker said.
You think that's the weakest?
I'm sorry, but this is a very, very desperate type of argument. This is what you hear all prostitutes and escorts say because they don't themselves want to be committing a crime. So you say, no, you just pay for my time when you pick me up, and then I fall in love and we happen to have sex, but that's all consensual, and the money's for my time. This is ridiculous. I think the jury will see through that on the Mann Act. On the other two serious charges, maybe they're right that the prosecution hasn't made a strong enough case, but this is a risky sort of tactic to not put on any defense and try to rehabilitate Diddy in any way and just rely entirely on the burden of proof being too high.
Yeah, maybe so.
Even on the Mann Act, it's not minors. So you have a bunch of consenting adults, right? So Diddy's got a lot of money. He's got some strange sexual proclivities in the view of some people. And what? I mean, he transports sex workers cross state lines, allegedly. And you know, they have these freak offs. You know, I mean, this is how he likes to spend his time. It's not a bunch of minors.
Yeah, it just seems like bedroom police at this point, where they're poking around what he's doing in hotel rooms, in his bedroom. They're making big deal about lube, Astroglides,
I think
baby
Kid
oil,
Cudi-
6-inch heels.
I think Kid Cudi and his burned out car would say the case is about a bit more than just his sexual proclivities. They built a RICO case.
Well,
And they said he
he's
threatened the parents.
he's a criminal. He's a criminal for sure, because we've heard numerous crimes, including the Cassie video. The issue is it organized crime or is he a disorganized criminal, which is what the defense is going to say. But what's really interesting, and Austin just hit on this, about whether this is really a bedroom police case. We are told that one of the things that the defense is mulling over is actually invoking the war with Iran. I guess I can call it a war now. That they are saying what they're thinking of saying is Homeland Security, which launched this incredible offensive against Diddy, you know, at his Miami house, at his Los Angeles house, at the airport, all of these things, that their eyes should be on the Iranian ball, and that this is just underscoring how their priorities are really screwed up.
Right, Harvey. And you mentioned those raids in LA, Miami at the airport. They testified, one of the Homeland Security agents, that about 70 agents were involved on the raid at Diddy's house in Star Island. He's a famous guy. People know who he is. That just seemed like overkill at that point. Like, he's not, where is he going to go? He's not going to run away.
Yeah, but I mean, doesn't the military take care of stuff like Iran? I mean, I don't know.
Well, Homeland Security.
That's kind of a lame argument.
The argument is Homeland Security protects our homeland.
And they're busy rounding up people
FBI
at Home
does
Depot.
too, you know. I mean, you got a lot of federal agencies, you know.
They're doing raids now at those sorts of places.
Yeah, we just put this
Iranian sleeper cells in America, in Florida or something, and they're worried about what Diddy's got, what he's got in his
both
closet.
foreign and domestic, and they think Diddy's a domestic threat to a lot of people in this country.
Homeland Security typically investigates sex trafficking. That's why they were on Diddy.
He's a threat to anyone who wants to buy baby oil, because apparently he's just cleaning out the aisles.
Jamil, it's my name, and I'm in Texas. And I don't think that it'll be a good idea for Diddy to testify. You know, you have to really think about this. He's looking at life in prison. So imagine if he would cry on the stand. People are going to be like, he's lying.
He ain't taking the stand. You know, Agnifilo told me, his lawyer, on one of our Tubi docs, our early Tubi doc, I don't think I can keep him off the stand. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, and you are.
And just to be clear, with the discussion we just had, because some people might think that that's like excusing Diddy's behavior towards people. Nobody's saying that he's a great guy. Just the question is, those 3 charges, have they met their burden of
He's
proof?
a criminal. He beat Cassie.
Yeah.
He's a criminal for that. And there were other crimes that they clearly brought out.
They didn't charge him for
Well,
that.
they can't, because it's a federal case, and the beating, the statute of limitations is run.
Whew. Listen, people. It's interesting. I said all along that it was a circus and they didn't prove their case. Is that good enough reason not to bring up anybody? Because you just like, they didn't, you know, prove their case. You don't know what the jury is thinking. And it's going to be interesting. Well, guys, at least we don't have to wait to the 4th, okay, of July weekend. Thursday, this case will be in the jury's hands. I guess if I want to do some mock closing arguments, I got to get the writing my closing arguments for the prosecution side, because y'all love to say I'm biased. So I'm going to write some closing arguments for the prosecution side. I'm going to write some closing arguments for the defense side. And then time will tell, and we will see what they actually say in their closing arguments. Do I think they should use this Iran-Iraq theory The defense team, no, I think that is bananas. I think they got enough information to do better than that. Anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Let me know your thoughts. The defense rests their case. You got 10 lawyers, and 10 lawyers couldn't find you one person to come up there and be a character witness for you, Diddy. It's a lot. I'll see you on the next video.